Welcome to The Gorgeous Effect, the podcast that's about to rock your marketing world. I'm Julie Chanel, and with my co-founder, Kathy Olson, we're the masterminds behind Funnel Gorgeous and FG Funnels. We're about to drop some serious tea on how to create funnels that not only look amazing, but actually convert into customers. We'll chat mouth-watering offers, copy, design, and give you an inside look of some of our best and worst funnels. No smoke and mirrors, just real strategies that work from two ladies who have been around the funnel block. So grab your coffee or something stronger, we won't judge, and get ready to unleash the gorgeous effect on your business. It's time to show the world what you've got. Let's do this. Hey everyone, it's Julie and Kathy. We're back with another episode of The Gorgeous Effect. Okay, deep breaths.
Not just another episode.
Oi, oi, oi. So today we want to talk about the fact that there appears to be no middle ground in life or business when it comes to business, politics, religion, current events, and how the heck you run a business when everything feels like a tangled ball of yarn. Like in the good old days, businesses ran their businesses and did their products, and whether they were a personal brand or not. And then you had politics in one nice little bucket, you had religion in another bucket, and personal life in another bucket, and business in another bucket, and never did the four shall meet. It was an easier time.
I wish we could do a poll of like how many people how many people like it matters to them, Because like
What do you mean? What matters?
So like I've heard people lately saying it matters to me where I put my dollars, like what their political stances are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that voice is very loud. So I wonder if it really is, if that really is the majority of people who are like, I want to know what a business owner thinks. I want to know what their religion is. I want to know what their personal beliefs are. I want to know how they voted. Like, I don't want to give them $1 versus people who are like, they seem like a good person and that's their business and they know what they're doing and they're the best for the job. You know what I mean? Like, I just wonder what that actual percentage is because I don't know. It's just interesting.
Yeah, didn't you hear some influencer teaching something about
Yes.
that?
Yeah, I've heard several people say right now, you should do some research on what this person believes and all the things they're saying. And if they're this certain way, you should not give them any more dollars. Literally, and not so in the worst sentence ever, but that's basically what they're saying. And so I'm just wondering, because I don't but because I'm in the middle and I'm like independent basically at this point in my life, and I'm very much not on on any radical side because both sides have scared the crap out of me. Like hiding in the middle and being Switzerland. I don't really unless they say something really that I think is morally mean and just, oh wow, they're just not a good person. That's what it would take for me. But as far as how they voted, what they're saying and online, whatever, as long as it's not hurtful and terrible, I'm like, whatever. I don't know. So I'm the person that doesn't care. So I just wonder if there are other people like me, but also because I'm the person that doesn't care, I don't rock the boat. I don't post anything I every time I try to do something and then I get a little bit I immediately delete it. I'm like, well, nope, that was too far. Just kidding. Whereas, Julie, you're known for not backing down and you're known for saying your piece and you're known for standing in what you believe and letting people, but also being open. Like, I wouldn't say that yeah, you're definitely not the person where you don't allow the debate in the comments. You don't shut anything down. So but we are very different. We're very opposite in that way.
Yeah. I think that okay. One of the things that is very difficult right now is that there are extremes on either side that are saying words are violence, right? They're saying if you say you agree with, Charlie Kirk, let's say, because that's, been top of mind, then that's violence against my personal rights. And therefore, what happens is when you take someone's belief or you take someone's free speech and you call it violence or you call it hate speech, it precipitates a response that says, okay, we have to either respond with violence or at the very least respond with boycotting and not giving our money and all of this kind of stuff. The problem is that both extremes are saying that the other one is hate speech, right? So like if you're on the extreme left, you're saying, okay, someone extreme, like Charlie Kirk, I think was pretty polarizingly on the right.
Apparently, yeah. I didn't
Yeah,
realize
right.
until this happened. Yes.
Yeah. And so like he's promoting hate speech or he's, saying things that affect my quality of life. Therefore, I have to do something about this. And then people on the right are saying to the people on the left the same thing.
Yeah.
And they're saying, oh, well, we've got to, we've got to wage war. Right. So at this point, it's like I think the majority of people are actually somewhere in the middle, but like it's like there's no middle because the
Because they're
algorithms
just sitting here like me and not afraid to say anything. So we're just sitting here like watching it crash and burn and everyone's screaming
on
at each
either
other.
side. And like
It's like when you walk up to like have you ever like walked up to like two people talking and then you realize they're fighting and you're like, another time. Bye-bye.
right,
I'll
it's
see you
like
guys
Bart
soon.
Simpson like going back into the bush, that meme.
Exactly.
But what's happening on either side also is I don't know if you noticed this, but like this kind of started in 2020. If you didn't speak up about an issue, you got canceled, right? So it's like after I saw this after the Charlie Kirk assassination, people were saying if your pastor didn't say anything, get a new church. Or during George Floyd's murder, if they didn't say anything, you shouldn't do business with them anymore. And so it's like even silence is not acceptable, right? It's eviscerating the middle. It's gone. The middle's gone. The algorithm has won.
Yeah, I've yeah, it's interesting because in 2020 I felt very much like we had to say something, like whether we wanted to or not. I don't feel that as much right now, and I don't know if it's because everyone's being so loud that no one notices that you're not saying anything, So like because I've been thinking about, do people care what I think about this? I don't know. Do I need to say what I think about this? Not really. Like I don't, if I'm not right, like if I'm not really far on the left and I'm not really far on the right, do I need to say anything? But it's interesting because then again, then it seems like you have to choose sides and you have to be black and white, right? If no one's saying anything in the middle and not holding both truths and like looking and saying, well, yes, these can both be true. Like, like, yes, he can say bad things. Yes, he didn't deserve it. Like, whatever, right? Like, if you can hold both those things at the same time, like, I don't really hear as many people saying that. And so it does seem like you have to choose sides. But again,
Yeah.
this all comes back to what does this have to do with business?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, so,
right?
but the interesting thing is like, you're the silent middle, and I think I'm the loud middle.
Mhm.
Although I think people would probably push me right to the right. But I don't really have the hallmarks of the right. It was so funny when you told me that influencer was saying, go check how they're registered. I'm like, I'm registered as a Democrat, but like, I don't sound like a Democrat when I'm like, on social media, because what happens is if you say something with any kind of nuance, people immediately read through their lens and they put you in one of these two buckets, right? So it's like
Yeah.
lately I've been put in oh, you must be a white nationalist, you must be a pro-Trumper because I've been speaking out, in favor
Even though you've been
of.
speaking out against Trump this whole entire
I know,
time.
but I've been speaking against Trump since 2016.
But that's what I'm saying. I think the people in the middle, it makes everyone mad that you're not being, you know what I mean? Like they
Right,
want you
right.
to be
You can't
extreme.
please anybody.
Yeah. I don't know, girl. Like,
But so, okay, so back to your question, like, what does this have to do with business?
yeah.
I think I hate to say this. I don't know that I want to say this on the mic, but I I feel like we're having sort of a digital civil war.
Mm.
I think it's going to be very hard in the coming days and months to serve the middle. And I don't like that. It really frustrates me.
Well, but I think the middle is the best place to be. So, which sucks because I'm like, this is the way we don't have a civil war and this is what I'm trying to teach my kids on like not to just follow any political party, like, just blindly. I say every time you hear something, I want you to look up the opposite and hear what the opposite has to say. And this is like
Yep.
has been my thing. Like what I do with even when I vote, I asked ChatGPT, I said, I want you to tell me about this bill, like stuff specifically, like San Diego, right? I'd be like,
Hmm.
tell me what do the Republicans say? Like sell it to me like you're a Republican. And then I say, okay, now what do the Democrats say? Sell it to me like a Democrat. Like I literally want to hear
Hmm.
I don't want to hear it one-sided. And so this is what I'm trying to teach my kids. But again, this is what we should all, I mean, I think we should all be doing in order to get to the middle. I think the middle is the most loving place to be, to understand where people are coming from and to try to understand literally what they're thinking, which is really like what we do in marketing anyway. So it really shouldn't be hard for you guys to kind of think about it from everyone's perspective. But yeah, I don't know that there's good news coming because
I don't think there is. I wish there was, but I don't think there is. I think it's
yeah,
going to
I
get
think it's
harder and
gonna
harder.
it's gonna have to come to a breaking point before we get to that point, maybe, possibly. It's interesting because I saw Nuno in person yesterday and he was talking about these analysts and they have these like convergence lines. I don't know if I'm sure you know this stuff, but basically they look at all of these stats and there's certain points in history where all these things bump together and they basically predicted COVID, they can predict like a market crash like in sectors. So like financial, these lines are going to hit, and then health, these lines are going to hit, right? Whatever. Well, there's all of the lines are coming together. So like not just like health, financial, whatever, like whatever lines they're tracking, they're all coming together right now. And so it definitely like something big is going to happen, but it's so unprecedented that all the things are coming together at once. They have no idea what. And I'm like, oh man,
Lovely.
yeah. So he's telling me this, and we're like, what? And we're like, well, of course, with AI, like we knew this was gonna happen eventually. But it is interesting, and yeah, I do think I don't know, I don't see any way other out of this other than the two sides eventually, becoming a lit fuse,
I know.
basically.
It's unfortunate. I've never looked up the political or religious angle of any business owner I've done business with before. I've never done that, and it's never dawned on me to do that. I've always evaluated a business based on, hey, can you solve the problem,
Right.
and are you not a criminal? I mean, that's
Well,
like
that's what I'm saying. Like, there is a point where I'm like, oh, I'm unfollowing this person. Like, I'm
like
not to
Ty
say that like I
Lopez.
totally turn a blind eye, but again, because I think it's because I respect everyone's opinions on both sides that I can see where they would come up with that. Like I understand people care about topics that are close near and dear to their heart. They've been through different things in their lives. I understand that they see things differently. Like they were no one not like everyone was raised exactly the way I was, right? And so I think I understand why people choose like there's certain, political sides or whatever, or don't choose or whatever. I can see where they're coming from. And so because I can understand where people are coming from, I don't fault them for that. And I'm like, that's their, this is democracy. This is what it's about. We're not a dictatorship. We're not, like communists or whatever, where we're like, this is what everyone believes, right? And I appreciate that. And so for me, that wouldn't affect where I put my dollars. But
Yeah.
obviously that's not a popular opinion right now. I hate even saying that out loud, but I'm like, okay, so I think people get it because I don't post anything. Maybe it's just like they understand by proxy that I don't, live in those extremes. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, if you're a business owner and you have strong opinions, I think, I definitely come from a side where I have always been pretty open with my opinions, so
Yeah.
it's fairly on brand for me to do that. It comes with a cost. So if that's not something that you've gotten used to doing, I think there's no reason that you have to do it. You will maybe at some point be pressured into, or they'll try to pressure you into taking a side, but you don't have to. You can remain silent. That is not a crime, despite
Not
what
yet, at
anybody will
least.
tell you. Not yet, at least. But if you're not outspoken, yeah, I mean, I think I do think that we need to be prepared for the fact that sometime in the next 5 to 10 years, we may not have a choice, that there may, it may be forced on us.
Well, then I should soak up every second I've got of silence, right? Like I should enjoy all of the moments of no one knowing what I think, because maybe eventually, like you're saying, we won't have that freedom of keeping it to ourselves.
I
You know?
or just our data will be so public that,
Yeah.
everyone will know. But I guess it does beg the question, if you are a business owner, even if you're not going to talk publicly about your values, it may be worth doing some private journaling and reflection on what values are worth speaking up for, right? Like,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
you know what I mean? Just like having
Yeah,
those
like
values.
what is the point of
what is
which?
your uncrossable line? Or what is the line in which you'll say, okay, I'm standing up for this, or I'm not doing this, or, just kind of creating your core values
Yeah, I like
so
that
that
because then you don't feel pressure, needlessly, right? Of like, oh, I should be saying, because that's what I do feel like, oh, I should have said something. I'm supposed to be saying something. People are waiting for you to say something. First of all, they're probably not. But I tell myself that, and I'm like, I should weigh in here. I should like, and then I'm like, and then I wait, and then I'm glad that I waited and didn't do it. Or like I said, I'll post something and then I'll immediately get something and I delete it because I'm too much of a punk and I can't stand up for it. But that it is good to have at least like a little bit of a rule book for yourself of like, here's what I talk about, here's what I don't talk about, here's what I don't need to share with anyone, and just standing in that so that next time you do feel the pressure that you have like that, the rule book, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think so. And one last piece of advice I will give everyone, which I think, you made a great point about researching both sides. I have now that I'm so aware of how the algorithm feeds you what you want, I have multiple accounts and I've trained the algorithm on the extreme of either end. Uh, it's total whiplash. But if I go on one TikTok account, I'm just like, convinced that our democracy is dead and that free speech is gone and that Trump is about to be installed as the dictator. And then I go on the other one and it's like the golden age of, us returning to a Christian nation is back. Do you know what I mean? It's like it could not be more different. And that just gives me a lot of insight into the extreme of either side. So it's a worthwhile experiment, I think.
Yeah, I think this is a good conversation because I think, if you're Team Julie and you want to say your things and, put them all out there on the internet and you're ready to, debate them and support them and like allow, for discourse, whatever, great. If you're like Team Kathy and you just don't want to say anything to anyone and you just want everyone to like you and you don't want to yell at anybody and you don't want anyone yelling at you, that's okay too.
Yes. Yes. Don't ever feel pressured to have to speak up. Silence is, people will try to weaponize your voice and they'll try to weaponize your silence, and don't take the bait.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, it's a good discussion. Good talk. Good talk. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us and we'll see you next time. Talk soon.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We're just getting started with this podcast, and we're so excited to have you on this journey with us. If you found value in today's episode, we'd be over the moon if you'd consider subscribing. It's like a virtual high five that keeps us going. And hey, if you're feeling extra gorgeous, leaving a review would mean the world to us. Your words not only make our day, but it also helps other amazing folks just like you find our show through your review. Lastly, if you know someone who could use a little sales pep talk, why not spread the love? Share this episode and let's grow this gorgeous community together.